Volume's up. There you go. Coffee in hand. Love. Oh, this is kind of invisible-ish. There you go. Looks like kind of like I'm drinking wine, but it's coffee. Trust me, it's coffee, not wine this morning. It's too early for that. 8 o'clock wine. Feeling a little bit better. I won't lie. This stomach flu virus is kicking my butt. But I'm here today, this morning, like I am, kicking in on the markets. Today we're going to talk about this company, Kinder Morgan. Pretty fitting day. Oil's in the news. But this show is edutainment. Right there. This show is edutainment. Viewed for your educational and entertainment purposes. Not to be taken as financial advice, as I do not know your personal financial situation. Hi, social media world. My name is Alfred Gordon-Lew. This is 8 at 8, and 8 minutes starts right now. Welcome to TikTok 20, where we talk about 20 companies like Warren Buffett has advised us to track to make us very wealthy. We're looking at the S&P 500. All these companies are within it in different sectors. Specifically today, we're talking Kinder Morgan, part of the energy sector, XLE. Kinder Morgan, it's funny because oil's all in the news right now. They're talking about it going to 150. But let's dive right on into it. This is Kinder Morgan's. The only reason why we know Kinder Morgan is because they have a major pipeline that runs through kind of Canada, through my part of the woods, and they've actually had an oil spill. So how I first heard about them is that they had a big oil spill in our backyard near, not in our physical backyard, but in our lower mainland, in our city's vicinity. And they got some bad press about it. And that's how I first learned about Kinder Morgan. So hopefully you have other ways that you hear about this in a good light. But essentially they move a lot of crude oil into different places. So this is their investor relations page. Everybody should look at this. You should take a look at these wonderful presentations that they have too if you don't know much about your company. But more so important, there is their reports, and I don't know if I've ever showed you, but this is their wonderful earnings call where you get to hear like the CEO and a whole bunch of interviewers interview that CEO, and you kind of grill that CEO every quarter about the progress of their company. But let's not do that, but let's go to the charts. This is for our positional traders. We took a look last month. Let's take a look at how it's doing. Oh my goodness. What happened? Let's take a look at what happened this month. So let's just zoom on in. And you can see that energy is looking pretty. Where are those arrows here? Let's see here. So the last arrow that I see is green. Check, check, check. And this happened all the way in, looks like January. So that's the same. Nothing's changed here from month to month. And then it was ticking and rocking since back here. That was of February of 2021. So it's been an up cycle. It's been in a little bit of a cycle, and this is what happens with the market. It goes up, it goes down, it goes up, and it goes down. And that's just the way the market goes. You got to catch these cycles. And the last thing that we see here that's been ticking and rocking, this was red, and it definitely turned, I would say, to the upside here, but it's generally trading in a good range. But as of January, it has all green lights. So if this is something that you've been investing in since, back then, you would have had a crazy ride up, a little cooling off, and now another ride up. And you can see our Fibonacci's right over there. I don't know if you can see there. Fibonacci's right over there. So let's talk about this from a swing trader's perspective. These are people that are capitalizing on the swing, on that cycle, and trying to find the opportunities to buy the dips. And we're using Bollinger Bands to do that. And if you didn't notice, I threw in a couple of different indicators here. We got the RSI and we got the MACD, and using those in conjunction. And this MACD has, I think, a little different settings than I have. So let's take a look. As you can see the last month, Those are our Fibonacci's out there. I think that's a cool way to look at the market and see the range that it was at. So I'm going to leave it. As you can see, we were coming around and finding a dip point for the market. So I'm going to highlight that red for you. As you can see right there, there was a buying opportunity last month at the tail end of that. I say this was February 22nd when we did it last month. Today's March 23rd. So exactly a month ago, it had a huge dip down to $15. That would have been a very opportune time to buy it outside the Bollinger Bands. And then looking at the upside potential and when to get out at the top of our Bollinger Bands, I would say it reached as high as 19. Look at that. Look at that candle wick right up there. That's 19. I don't know if you can see it on your screen, but that's as high. Now it's come back down to the middle of the range, and it's slowly kind of ticking up, as you can see. So what is moving this wonderful Kinder Morgan? A lot of oil prices. Let's go over to our news. So was it, their company earnings? They did right here, January 19th. So not recently, but the street was expecting 0.26. We got 0.27. That's a little upside potential, which is great. The next time that they're going to meet and do that webcast thing, the earnings call is April 19th, so that's coming up pretty quick. We're expecting them to do more or less the same, 0.27 in production. Let's see if they give us another surprise, again, moving it. But I don't think that's really what's moving it. I think it's in this financial calendar and world news. Again, today, line up for you trader swing and also intraday, 28 earnings, 2 stock splits, 1 IPO, 75 economic events. And I think that's what's going to move the needle today. All the stuff that's highlighted here is mostly in the US, but what's got my eye to it right here, not just mortgage rates, that's really poor. Money, if I could speak, M3 money supply. But what I'm really interested in is not just building new homes, but here, crude stack. We're looking at energy, stocks, production, crude, Cushing. I have to learn what that is. Heating and oil stocks, utility, crude imports, and gasoline. And those two reports right down here at 2:30 Eastern Time, 11:30 Pacific Time. That's when we're going to see a lot of fluctuations. And also, there's a lot of rave right now about this. Kinder Morgan sinks because it's not as strong as the other oil stocks. A lot of people think that that is overpriced. But the news in Ukraine and Russia wants to, make people pay in rubles or, crazy states to pay for their oil and gas. They're shutting off major pipelines to Germany, to the rest of Europe. So that's affecting oil prices around the world, making it skyrocket. So let's take a look at the intraday. Does it really affect Kinder Morgan? Yes, they're in the sector, in the industry. I don't know if they have any exposure to Europe, but obviously all the tide lifts all boats. Rising tides lift all the boats. I think that's a Warren Buffett quote, but I have to double check that. With that said, I only got a minute. I got to throw a Fibonacci on here just to show you some future or leading indicators. We're going to just go to the lows. We're going to go to the highs. I think that is really great right there to put it on. Boom. I'm going there. And now it's at the top range of it. So we are seeing that they are, again, I think a strong floor would be 1794. And upper, you see it's peaked at 1819. I think you're going to see a lot of retesting at 1815 with a pretty day floor at 1805. With that said, I'm out of time. I don't even know if you heard any of that. Oh my goodness. Let's see here. Did you even hear what I was talking about? I think I had it muted. It feels like Monday. I'm still recovering, everybody. I'm sorry if you didn't catch that last part. I was saying that Moy School is shut down. Today she's going back. She was shut down because of two reasons. One, because of this wonderful maintenance, BC Hydro. Two, that norovirus, rising tide, I don't know, red tide. Someone ate some bad oysters. Boom. Spread to everybody else. Peace.